Hello and welcome to the 13th edition of the BelDOCS International Documentary Film Festival. My name is Jelena Petkovic and I'm a freelance investigative journalist. With me today is Razvan, one of the protagonists of the movie Collective. Film follows an investigation by journalists of the newspaper Gazeta Sportulior into healthcare corruption in the wake of the Collective nightclub fire. The film was premiered on the 76th Film Festival in 2019, screened at the Toronto International Film Festival and Sundance Film Festival. LA Times called the movie a gripping, despairing exposure of institutional injustice. Variety called it a documentary for our times and why it's something that deserves a widespread exposure. So from the screening of the movie that happened last year, what has changed for you, your colleagues in your newspaper? What has changed for survivors? What has changed for the families of the victim? Was there any new investigation into all this that was happening?
Maybe not related with the film, but we had in the court we had the first decision for the ones who were responsible for the fire, and now we are in the appeal court for them, for the mayor and for the other responsible of fireworks and so on, for the firemen department. So they were convicted in the first case, and now we are at the appeal. And also we are waiting the decision now in September for the hexipharma, for the diluted disinfectants, for the bosses, for the directors, because they were three directors. One of them committed suicide, and they are still two remaining. The production director and the general director, the CEO, and they are waiting their final decision. In the first time they were convicted for 3 years in prison and 3 years and a half in prison, and now we are waiting for the second decision and the final. This will be the final decision of the appeal court from Bucharest. So let's say for us, for the journalists, we are continuing our investigative work. We had a lot of work this year because of the coronavirus pandemic, and of course the parents of the victims, they are waiting for the final decision in the case. Of course, we had let's say a tour in Romania, and we saw that the people have not forgotten this moment, this fire, and I'm sure that it will be never forgotten.
When you started working on that story, the movie gave us a unique perspective, and we can see how the investigation is unrolling. Did
Yes.
you know what you're going to find, or it was just you had initial information and you started working with this information?
No, because we started. We are a sports newspaper, and a lot of people ask us, okay, how do you, sports journalist, a sports newspaper, came to make an investigative work in this direction in health, because it's something new. We never heard about something like that, and Gazeta Sporturilor is making investigative work from 2000, I don't know, maybe already 20 years. investigations, and there have been convictions of ministers after Gazeta's investigations. So we had the sports minister Monica Iacobriți was convicted 10 years ago after my colleagues Cătălin Tolontan and Mirela Neag started an investigation about the Doi Mai case, the 2nd of May case. It was a case where they organized the youth day on the beach with a lot of money, and there was money laundering and so on. So she was the minister of sports, and she was convicted after she resigned, first of all, after the investigation. Then after that, after a couple of years, she was also convicted. And we had in 2014 eight people, the most powerful people in the Romanian football, were convicted after an investigation started by Gazeta Sporturilor, including Gheorghe Popescu. He was the former captain of Barcelona, and he was convicted a lot along with other very powerful presidents and CEOs in Romanian football. So the newspaper had this background, and at the moment of the fire, a lot of people came to us and they asked us, okay, why are you writing only about sports? Because we need some investigations about this, about the firemen, about the fire brigade, about the fire. After that, about the hospitals, because we had the bacteria in the hospitals that killed a lot more children and people than the fire. And that's why step by step we came to the final step, the hexipharma case, the diluted disinfectants. Because the first sources told us, okay, you're talking about people who die in hospitals. Do you know why they are dying in hospitals? Because the disinfectants are diluted. And first of all, we thought, oh, it can't be. This can't be. It's too much for us. It's too much for our imagination. Okay. And after that, when we talked with the second source, with the third source, we had a clear image that this is happening right in front of us.
In a movie, your quote just she commented and said, "This is like too much of a story that you have to that people might not
believe." Yes, might not believe. And that's why we, in the first episode, we wrote that the Romanian state, so Romania, never verifies the disinfectants, so they are not verified, And after that, only after that, we talked about we had the case about diluting them, in the second, in the third episode, because it was, yes, the people, like we say in the movie, will not believe us.
One of the reasons why this was discovered it's exactly because you were persistent in writing. So you didn't just publish one story and step back. You continued writing.
We continued because the state, the health minister, they were fighting back. They were telling the people that it's false, that the disinfectants are okay, and we had to prove that it's not like them. And after a few weeks, the health minister, Patriciu Achimaș Cadariu, resigned, because they also made the tests that we've made, and uh, they uh, they knew already that all of the biocides made by Hexi Pharma were diluted. So it was a moment when the health minister resigned, and the director, the Dan Condra, the general manager, uh, was rushed into the prosecutor's office, and after that, he committed suicide. I think a month after we started. It's also in the movie.
And then the other people came forward talking about mismanagement hospital. So you opened a whole new layers of the problem
Yes,
within the
yes,
system.
yes. Because it was a well created system behind the curtain. So we started with diluted disinfectants. We already knew that they're diluted, they are not controlled, that there is a system of bribery in which certain people from this company are bribing in the hospitals to give money to implement their biocides in hospitals. So yes, we found a big system behind the disinfectants, and we also found a lot of hospital managers who were very corrupt. One of them is also now in the court, waiting for his first decision. It's about his name is Florin Securanu, and he's also starring in the movie.
In the movie, we saw only glimpses of the things that you were put under pressure. There was a public pressure on you, but there was also some sort of glimpse that you were got threats. Can you tell us more about this? What kind of pressures you were under while you were working on the stories, and are you still under this pressure?
Yes, there is a scene in the movie where Catalin and Mirela tell me that we have been threatened, and we must be aware. The No, it nothing happened then. Nothing happened. So there were just rumors. Yes, it's a big pressure, but we keep on doing our job like all the investigative reporters are doing their job, and I know that maybe in other cases the threats were bigger than in our case. Yes, in other investigations, so Mirela had, let's say, problems. I know that one time she was followed by a car, by an unknown car. Also, there were suspicious cars at Catalin's place a couple of years ago. I'm younger. I hadn't such threats, and I know that they came along with our job. So there's something normal.
In the scenes in the movie, there are some conversations that are being taped with the minister, with some dignitaries in your country. And in this conversation, we can hear that there are some other wrongdoings. Were you aware of this scenes before you saw a movie, and have anybody written about that, about this other part of the movie?
So first of all, we didn't saw anything uh, from the movie before seeing the whole movie. So Alexander and his team never talked with us about what they were seeing in the minister, and they never thought in the minister about what they were seeing in the at the Gazeta Sporturilor, because that's why first of all when they came to us, uh, we weren't so sure about them. Why they want to record everything? Why they want to they why they are so interested in this? And after that, we saw that let's say there is a scene, you know, where we are publishing something about a person who's got maggots on his face on the Burns hospital, you know, and after that they are filming the minister who is seeing the news in our newspaper, you know. So we knew then that okay, so they are not telling them because the minister knew about the problem from the newspaper, and we were sure that they are only following us, and they are not following the they are not talking about our investigations at the minister. About other problems, of course, we also had sources, and we also knew about the problems. And yes, there are a lot of of problems with the health system also now at the it's 2020. 4 years after that, we also have big problems in the health system. But I must say that after the film, a lot of after the investigative work that led to the film, uh, a lot of people from a lot more people from the hospitals came to talk these problems with us. You know, before this, before collective, the health system was something very very uh, uh, tightened, you know. So nothing was going out from the health system. But after collective, doctors, nurses, and so on came to the press, to us, to other investigative newspapers, and um, talked about this.
So the movie and your work has changed the situation in Romania regarding the healthcare system.
Yes, it changed. I think it changed because we can see now a lot more news from the hospitals, and we could see this year when we had the coronavirus that a lot of doctors and a lot of workers from the hospitals talked in the press, not only off the record but also on the record, and that's let's say something new, because in 2010, let's say, we wouldn't find a lot of these persons talking into the press.
The other media outlets followed your example. Is there more now investigative work regarding this issue?
Yes, and I must say that also then there were a lot more, and you can see this in the film, that there's a lot of press at the press conferences, and these guys are working very hard, and they helped us a lot in our investigation. So all the Romanian press went after the subject, after Hexipharma. We had a lot of investigative reporters who helped us. You can see in the film there is a guy, Ovidiu Vanghele, who came to us, and we are talking about the subject. He was not working with us, but he was working on the same subject, and we were changing info, and it was very very helpful for us and for all the press.
Your work is described as Pulitzer worthy. work.
No.
Are you? Are you? Well, it is a quote, and it is a fact that you did amazing investigative work. Is there something new that you're working on now?
We are working every time we're working for a new investigation. We are now working with Libertatea. It's one of the main newspapers in Romania. They bought Gazeta Sporturilor 2 years ago, and we are now working together. So now we are not stressing the football fans with the investigative work, which is not a sport one. So we are writing our investigative in Libertatea, and I hope that we'll produce more investigations this year and in the following years.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Such an interesting. I mean, honestly, it's an amazing work. You did a lot, and it was just really a good. Maybe for some young journalists, it's also a very good example of how should be done, like how
Mhm.
proper investigative work should be done, and also it's almost an amazing story, and it's just like you can't believe it's something so obvious.
Yes, you can't believe. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we couldn't believe either. First of all, yes, we
Yeah,
couldn't
well,
believe
for
that.
me also it was interesting in the movie. When your colleague when they were filming in studio and he was attacked by other journalists that was there,
Yes.
and I didn't get it. I mean, like I don't understand the scene, media scene in your country, but it was just like so incredible that it's like, I mean, how do these guys justify themselves like for what they're doing? Like, is that even possible?
You're talking about the scene at Antena 3 at the television when
Yeah,
Catalin goes there, and yes, and the guys. Yes, if you ask Catalin, he will say that this is the press and this is normal. That it's normal that the journalists have different opinions on the subject. But yes, I don't. I personally, I don't like their style so much. And yes, I know that a lot of these guys, in that television antenna trade, they are working a lot of good journalists, good
yeah.
reporters, good. A lot of them are very good, but the stars of the television, like the two guys that you saw, they are making a lot more propaganda than press. Yes.
That's, I think that's like also the movie is a very good example. It's just like of this, how these things are going when brave and courageous journalists start working on some story. There's always another voice and attacking them publicly, saying that they are not as good as they are, and
Hmm.
it's a sad. And I don't know how people I don't think they're able to kind of understand, because this defamation goes so deep against somebody that
Hmm.
that I don't know, general public anywhere is able to understand what is
Hmm.
true and what is just being false information and attacking. The
Yeah,
only
and that television antenna tray, and not television, but that program, it's watched by a lot of people. It's in the prime time, and a lot of let's say older people are watching the program, and they are very much influenced by them.
Yeah, the ending of the movie, it's just
Yeah, I know.
I'm going to start crying because I cried like when I was watching at the end of it. Like it's just like it kind of shows like this ruthlessness. Maybe even we as journalists sometimes like we're writing and forget that we are just
Yeah.
but they are
Yes.
just real people, real families, and these kids, and it's just so sad. It's just so
Yes.
sad. And at the end, how many years these guys are going to get altogether?
All together. So the mayor, he he got 8 years and a half, I think, or 9 years. 9 years, 8 years, 7 years. All of them got 8 years, 9 years.
So 20, 30 years for the killing of so many young kids.
Oh, they were. I think there are. I think 11 or 12. They are the mayor. I think two guys from the fire brigade, that the guys who that control the club. The guy who the lady who got the firework company. Uh, the other guy who got the firework company. So yes, and uh, they only are convicting the direct responsibles. So the hospitals are not in the same list.
Yeah.
Yes. So we still don't have nobody convicted. So not convicted in court responding for the infections.
And what happened to the minister at the end? Did he left for Vienna?
Voiculescu, he's now no, he remained in Romania, and he's now he wanted to be the mayor of Bucharest, but after all, he's only be the vice mayor if the his mayor will win. Yes, he left. He didn't went to Vienna. He left all the things in Vienna, and he remained in Romania.
It's interesting. And what about this beautiful lady that was a victim of a fire?
She's okay now. She was with us at the Vienna festival, and also I saw her, I think, in February before the coronavirus. She's doing okay now. She considers herself lucky one because you know you saw Hoja family, the family at the end. So their kid Alexandru had less burns than her, and he died. So she considers herself lucky to escape this, and she feels very sorry for the ones who died.
Yeah, I think they were mentioning this at the showing of this exhibition.
Yes.
I watched all of 5 movies that are in this category. All of them are excellent, and the conclusion is every movie is really good.
Mm-hmm.
And but they're so, makes you wonder that we're just living in a very scary world.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
if it wasn't
Yes.
people like you who are doing this work, God knows what will be happening. Because there are always people who are going to try to maneuver the system, to use the opportunity when you are looking in the other direction to grab something, take, destroy, and then you understand how important is your work. Um, Even it overcomes the fact that it's happening in your country. So it's just the fact that we all can see what you're doing is it gives like strength and gives younger generation strength to kind of try continue doing this.
Mm-hmm.
You're basically a pillar to all the other journalists who wants to do a proper journalism. So thank you for that.